Welcome back to yet another episode of Mindful Matters podcast. It is lovely to have you here. And this time I am not going to make the mistake of saying it is one number back. It is episode 15. Episode 15. And if my editing skills are also growing with each episode, you might actually see it up here somewhere. Episode 15. Welcome back. If you have stuck it out here with all of these episodes, then I have a sense that you already know that there are something with best of intentions, good information that I really hope is going to be very, very useful for you. Just please do make sure that you also engage with us. Let us know what is working for you. What are you enjoying? Leave us some comments, ask your questions, so we know what are the most important answers that are going to be the best for you. I'm your host, Oresztesz. It's good to have you. You can find me on Less Anxiety Today website and Less Anxiety Today YouTube channel. And of course, I'm here with Richard, my fantastic co-host. Richard, coach of coaches. You can find him as Richard Haggerty pretty much everywhere. Richard.
Thank you, Oresztesz. Yeah, no, it's lovely to be here. Look, you can reach me anywhere. richardhaggerty.co.uk, or you can find me on Twitter or on Facebook, as Oresztesz said. But that'll be in the notes below. We are here. It is lovely to connect with you, and really, I can't overemphasize what Oresztesz is saying. Please leave us any notes, ask us any questions, let us know what is of interest to you, because that's really what we want to do. We want useful, practical, actionable strategies that you can take away, that you can use straight away. So we've got a pretty wide variety of stuff that we can do for you, and we're happy to narrow that down based on what you want. So over to you, Oresztesz.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, we have both been at this point blessed with names that are, it's not John Smith. That there is a million of, and if your name is John Smith, enjoy the benefits of that kind of name. It's probably easier for you to get to disappear from the system of this insane amount of information that is at the fingertips of everybody today. So yeah, but this one is easy to be found. Our names are easy to be found, and I was just appreciating that. Also, we have been talking a lot about how to focus on the kind of information that we want for ourselves. We have looked at affirmations. We have looked at what to feel, think, and how to engage with the emotions or thoughts that we do not want to continue engaging with. And we have also looked at, on the last episode, on how to look at the things, how to reinforce the things and put them in the automated part of our minds through affirmations, how to make those work. And today, you presented a very interesting idea, Richard, where we can take this all the way to the next level.
Excellent. Well, how to set an intention, or how to change your intention. And I'll just give you a quick sort of backdrop for this. That I was thinking back for myself and with all my clients over the past couple of decades. What's the starting point always for transformation? So whether it's something that's working that you want more of, or something that's not working, there's always like a set where you set an intention. And I got very curious about how could I do that day by day? How could you do that in a few moments, easily and quickly and reliably? And that seemed to be a very, very useful kind of thing that can be useful, something that you could practically take day to day, no matter what's going around with you, and start to reorient, whether you've got a few moments or even if you've got like a minute or so spare. So it had to be quick, had to be useful, had to be resourceful. So I found a very nice I have a nice little process now that I use that's scalable, that works for that I call the flow method, and it has 4 steps. The first one is to simply focus and set the intention, and I can explain a little bit more about that. The second is to let go, and there's a specific way that I do that. We can let go in a feeling way. You can let go more by seeing it and turning that over to a kind of what I call a wider intelligence. Some people might call your unconscious or something else. And the third step is really to sit with your experience of having come up with the intention and let go of trying to figure out the details. And then the final step is to notice the shift, a sense of wonder, a sense of awe, which is why there's a W there. And this I really like, because I think that my experience is we have this real flow of, it's like a river inside us of creativity and energy, and it's really, there's no shortage of things that we're creating in our lives. We've always been creating things all our lives. But what if you could set your intention for that river to go in a particular direction? How would your life be different? And I can go through those in a couple more details, but it's probably helpful to have a couple of examples. And the easiest way to think about this is to pick an example, say, of like changing a feeling or changing the way that you interact with someone else. These are really good ways to start off and use this to show yourself how quickly it can work for you.
Right. So just wanted to elaborate real quick on a very important underlying assumption here, because it's really important that we are on the same page with this, and that is, no matter how much you might have a sense that your life is not exactly how you would like it to be, it's really, really important that you consider your agency in creating the life that you have. It's extremely important to recognize that, barring some really powerful or really intense events that can absolutely happen to anyone, life-changing events, COVID, just recently, a divorce that you did not prepare for, that you did not expect that might come from the other side, death of a loved one. There are many things, I don't know, being laid off or something like that can happen. But I would like for you to consider in how many ways over time someone can affect the probabilities of the things that happen in their lives. And as you mentioned, Richard, we are creating, I think was the word that you used. And it's really important to remember, because then why would you bother spending your time with setting the intention and trying to guide that flow?
Yep.
I might be using your metaphor a little bit differently. I'm also thinking, just like, even if you think of even if you think of a flow of water as a force of nature,
yep,
there are things that you can do, and sometimes tiny things, tiny modifications will create ripples further down. You can find where to make that modification, and the most important thing with all of this is that you set that intention, that you figure out, where would you like all of that flow, all of that water to end up?
Yep.
Where would you like to know? Even if you have absolutely no idea on how to make it get there, you can do your experiments and see what changes those create. But what I would really like for you to take with you is the understanding that you do have power. You have more power. Most people have more power than what they recognize they have. And again, I feel that it's very easy to come up with examples in ways where people are powerless. try to think of these situations at least medium or even very long term. Even the things that feels the most powerless, like I cannot do anything about this, think about them in really long-term goals. I mean, just reading Elon Musk's biography, or the book that somebody wrote about him. I'm not going to get into whether he inspires you, he pisses you off. I don't care about that. Just for using his strategies for this example, just the concept of his efforts that he's doing to get people to Mars, for example. All of that comes from what might even be interesting to consider. Just a really something that a child might read into a sci-fi story. Like, okay, yeah, the Earth is doomed. We're going to be overtaken by machines. So it would be a good thing to have it, or I don't know, we're going to destroy the Earth at some point. So it would be a good thing to have another one of these balls from Earth to move to. And it is taking a long, long time, but you can also definitely see the strides forward. Everybody has power like this. You, yes, you as well. So Richard, let's
Nice.
let's look a little
Well,
bit deeper into how to set that intention.
yeah, sure. Well, I will. I like this idea of agency, that everyone has power, and you using this a beautiful analogy there. Look, I think of it as like a dam that is vast. There's so much water behind it, and really, all we're doing is we're giving a general direction for the river. We're letting some of that out, and we're saying go in this general direction. Sure, as you go through it. So that's the first step of flow, focusing, which is choosing an intention, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Then there has to be some kind of letting go. That's almost like stopping oaring and letting the boat take you down. Okay, and you will bump into sides. It's not going to be a smooth thing, but you're still going in that general direction. At a certain point, it's good to recognize the that you're going in that direction. That could be like diving into the water. That could be where you actually literally are opening to the experience. You're actually taking time to sit with that and recognize and be present to where you're at, having changed that. And then the wonder is like arriving at a waterfall, and actually admiring and be seeing that beauty and actually enjoying, really recognizing what's working for you, recognizing what's working in your life. And once you realize, it's a great point, once you realize just that you can change, this is how easy it can be. And I've taught this to many, many people, and I use this myself now. What's the easiest way to set these kind of intentions? Well, typically you might be out and about during the day. Let's say, let's give two scenarios. One, you're feeling a bit frustrated because of something, a particular goal that's not happening, or a bill you've got, or a tradesperson who hasn't delivered the service you want. And let's think maybe of, say, a family member or a friend, or maybe someone else who, just because of a recent interaction, maybe you're not feeling great about. Well, this is a really, really powerful way that you can see the benefits of the flow. So in the first case, a feeling of frustration, or maybe something like that, you can just simply say to yourself, okay, what would be the opposite of this if I didn't have this frustration anymore? Oh, I'd feel relaxed and comfortable, or I would feel, when I'm not relaxed or I'm not frustrated, I feel, happy, and I feel alert and alive. Okay, so that's your intention. So my intention is to be happy and alive and alert. Now, this is what's really cool. If you can get used to trusting that when you set that intention, that it's like you have a committee, a ways and means committee, inside you, outside you, in the world. Like, there are so many ways in which that could happen, so many ways in which you can have support, that you have no way consciously where and how and when that's going to fully show up. But that you set that intention, you know that that's done, and then you go about your day, the rest of your day, with that spirit of positive expectancy. It is wonderful. Now, let me tell you, let's say you're going to go and meet somebody or you're going to phone a family member, or you're going to phone somebody else, or see somebody, a neighbor, and maybe didn't go, wasn't so great before. Try this. Okay, this is one of my favorite uses of this. All right. The intention, oh, that person, when I last speak to that person, they annoy me, or I feel that they're a bit loud or they're a bit rude. No, shift it. And in your mind, your intention is that that person has qualities that you can appreciate. And you're going to only notice those inside your mind. It is really the strangest thing with that approach is, honestly, when you set that intention and you just imagine, okay, what are the qualities about this person that I like? Oh, okay, one time they got me my son a birthday card when they were very young, or whatever it is, or they they always take the trash out. When you focus on that and let go of it, the next time when you interact with those people, guess what? You have a slightly better experience. And so this is a very, very simple and practical tool that you can use for your representations of other people and your intentions of how you want to feel, which you absolutely, like you say, Oresztesz, you have agency for. You have agency over. You can choose. And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to know how that's going to happen. All you have to do is make a choice in the moment, to take a few moments to set an intention of what you'd like to have happen. That's different.
Beautiful, beautiful. You kind of reminded me of a little kind of a trick I used to use when working with classical hypnotherapy. It's a very interesting thing, because the suggestions are basically suggestions that the client wants for themselves. They come to see you and they tell you, I want to feel more self-confident. And then basically I will tell them, give them reasons in a more relaxed state, where their no but brain is kind of relaxed. It's relaxed out of the way, or it's just worries about other things that can occupy it. And still, it's really interesting, because after a session, even especially with more classical sessions, when the yes but brain comes back online after just taking a bit of a vacation, then it can still kind of pack away at all the nice suggestions. So there was one of the things that I used to do, was I would tell someone, so after you open your eyes, you are the most red thing is really going to jump out at you. As you look around you, you will notice something red, let's say. And it would then convey the idea, because they would immediately, and they would laugh about it. But the interesting thing is that it would remind them that the things that happened continue to be true right after the session. Now, I am pretty sure that even as we're talking, you might have begun to notice something here, maybe, I don't know. Because these are suggestions that are happening at the same time. So the focus, the intention that you set for your mind is extremely important. Now, the reason for which I did this little detour about talking about how someone else can also take control of that intention, and you want to be aware of that, because I did hijack, possibly, I don't know if it happened to you, but it's very likely that you, as I was talking about something red jumping out at you, you probably noticed one of the red things that are around me. You want to be aware, because people can and will hijack your attention and set, possibly involuntarily, their intentions or impose their feeling. If they are having a bad day, it is kind of a suggestion for you as well to accept what you see in front of you. So setting the intention, you really want to make sure that it's not your environment, it's not the people around you that are setting your intention. Or if it's something that you're used to, make sure that you use Richard's technique to gain control as soon as you notice, to gain back control as soon as you realize what's happening, as soon as you notice, hey, I'm letting myself be pulled into whatever, something else that is around me. I want to remember my intention.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
can have all these beautiful positive experiences.
Yes, and I really like that, Orestes. I think, and by the way, I noticed that immediately, and that the red thing. I'm like, that red is so bright there in that top left-hand corner as I'm looking at it. It's like, and that's how quickly. The beautiful thing is, you see, once you have a simple, workable system, and you know you have agency, you can get used to setting these what I call micro intentions throughout the day. You might be in the shower, you might be making a cup of tea or washing your hands, and you suddenly realize, oh, look, I'm feeling like a little bit deflated or a little bit flat, or I'm not feeling too energized at the moment. And you can just set an intention. Oh, okay. So what do I choose? That's different. What's my great aspiration? Oh, I'd love to feel excited and interested. I'd like to feel engaged for the rest of the day. I'd like to feel inspired and remember all the things I have to look forward to. And that's your intention. It can be as simple as that. You might say something with it, you might see it, but just going through that process is setting that there. The beautiful thing is, once you get used to doing that, it's enough. Okay. Now, what I like to do is I like to imagine that intention kind of goes somewhere to like a committee, shall we say, of like helpers. So some people like to think of their unconscious mind, their superconscious mind. Other people like to think of like a wider intelligence. But if it's helpful, it can be very useful to think, I've now set that. There's a vast intelligence inside me, this river of creativity inside me, can handle the details. Look, the reality is this energy, this life impulse, your energy is going in a direction. So as Oresztesz said, rather than the default, either the programming for other people that might be limited or somebody else who's having a bad day, or the default programming that you have, maybe that's kicking in from an old past event, choosing something different in that moment and not having to worry about how it's going to happen, but just intending it, it's very, very liberating. And what I can say is that over time, it's quite interesting because you start to notice opportunities to make that happen. And in some cases, the intention will start to happen just as you're going about during your day. It's as though your ability to direct that means that you are unconsciously experiencing more of what you want. And just like you were saying, Orestes, that experience that people want to have when they come to see a hypnotist, of being able to have things show up spontaneously in their life, ultimately it's something they do for themselves. But this is a way that you can start to do that. And what I like about this approach of reaching for another feeling, of like focusing on your intention, is you do not have to make a specific time to do it. You don't have to set aside a long time to do it. You can do it wherever you need to, whenever you need to. And once it's there, you can just imagine that it's handed over now. You could imagine that it's handed over to a postman who's going to deliver it to the team that will take care of it for you. You could imagine in a group of helpers, a ways and means committee that's going to take care of it for you. And I like to start getting excited then, sometimes, that sense of wonder and awe that I talk about, and sitting with it, the opening to the thing, start getting excited about how that could show up, where that could show up.
Nice.
What opportunities might appear? And this is a really nice way to do things, and for you to know exactly like you say, Orestes, that you do have agency. And if you start off doing that with feelings and people, specific people, with feelings, it's simply what's the feeling that you would like? And with people, it's like, what are the qualities in them what's a quality in them I could notice when they're at their best? Or what could be a quality in them that I could appreciate? This will radically transform the way that you feel. It will reduce a lot of unnecessary stress. And you might just find that your mind really, really is powerful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you, Richard. I believe remembering that your mind is powerful is going to be today's yet again closing message. Remembering that your mind, yes, yours, is very powerful. And I hope you will continue to figure out and find out and enjoy learning about the techniques, all of the ways in which you can make it work for you, because a powerful engine by itself is not necessarily going to take you exactly where you want it to. You also need to grab the steering wheel and make sure that you know where where all that power is going, and making sure that it is taking you exactly where you want it to be. So I hope to see you next time on our next episode, where we will continue to explore all the ways in which your mind is powerful, and all the ways you can grab that steering wheel in which you can guide it towards your mind, taking you towards the life that you want for yourself. Thank you for sticking around. It's been lovely having you. Make sure that you're subscribed. Please leave comments, ask your questions, and see you next time. Take care.
Take care.